What is up, guys? In today's video, we're going to be spectating random players in a Fortnite's new Winterfest update, going over what I think they do well, what they could do differently, and just the state of the game right now. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, find it helpful, informative, or interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, comment down below what you think of this year's Winterfest update, and if you guys would like to use my code in the shop when getting anything, is EvolveJake, just like my channel name is, and it's underneath the webcam at all times. Me going to the new Clausy Lodge POI that was added for Winterfest. I really like this area. I'm interested to see once Winterfest ends if they're going to put it back to what it was previously or if it'll stay as this, because I kind of like this better, even though this was a location that I enjoyed. There still is a potential katana spawn on that road over there. It didn't spawn this game, but you do have the option of kind of like landing on that, grabbing the katana, and then coming to loot this area. With more people kind of landing here, that can be a bit of a struggle to do sometimes, but having the katana is a huge advantage. That guy is struggling. You know, I'm bored with whatever his name is. Aquatic. I'd want to drink that slurp juice right away if I was him. It's going to tick your shield up over time, and it's one of the better healing items I feel like to get off spawn, because if you drink it off spawn, you'll get up to 75 shield. I'm not really sure what he's doing, but it seems like a good amount of players landed here, so wasting time is not good. If you're in an area that's really contested like this, every little bit of time matters, because you want to be able to loot up and, you know, get your HP right, get your inventory right before other players do. Because if you are able to get going in the game faster than them, you can kind of press that advantage and kind of catch them off guard. Also, when you have a location this small with this many people landing here, because it is new, you have to be really mindful of third parties. And so just pushing into this house and fighting that enemy that's in there might not be the best play. Instead, he tried to like kind of wait it out and see if this person was going to push out. That way he would get a fight that's more on his terms, rather than something that is a little more risky, but, you know, runs a chance of getting third-partied. There's a guy right in front of him that unfortunately didn't see on that roof there. Luckily, he didn't take very much damage. His guns kind of stink. He has a gray Sovereign and a gray TAC AR. Like, he doesn't have much. And he has no mobility either, which is unfortunate. Still the player underneath him, and there's still that one across that had shot at him as well. More barrels in there. Doesn't really need them, though. He's only missing 6 shield. Blue pump. I would definitely want to have that over the Sovereign. He's just going to choose to leave this area. That's unfortunate. It's a hard choice to make because he doesn't really have much loot. But also, who knows if there's going to be more loot there for him to get either. But not having mobility is going to leave him with very few options when it comes to like pushing players or getting away from players. And so if the fight just doesn't immediately go his way, he's probably going to be out of the game, or at least at a very tough fight. There's a gas station nearby that you can go to get heals and stuff from the vending machines. See if he takes a gold Sovereign. They did recently buff it. I think I still prefer the iron pump. I haven't been able to use a Sovereign very much, and I see his shockwaves now. There's cars on this lake as well, and it looks like there's more shocks there. I haven't been able to use the Sovereign very much since the update, but from what I've played, I still definitely would rather have the iron pump. But that, you know, takes time to really know. Still looking for these people. Now I feel like he's in a spot where he can just kind of leave if he wanted. He has a very solid inventory at this point. His TAC AR rarity is lacking, but that's like fine because he also has a sniper for those longer range fights. And this isn't like the way I would prefer to play, but I think if you do like sniping, running something like the TAC AR, the TAC pistol, maybe even the hollow SMG now that its range got buffed, probably does make a bit more sense than running the Deadeye AR with the sniper if you are someone that is going to snipe a lot. Just chilling in these bushes. Hopefully he just grabs a car and leaves. Like I said, I feel like this is just kind of going nowhere. Gonna slide away on the ice. Green TAC AR. Now he goes for the Deadeye. He's very low on AR ammo. Everything I just said about like running those other weapons with the sniper, the Deadeye AR is fine to run with the sniper too. It is just kind of like a bit redundant at longer range. If the Deadeye AR was like shot really slow or something and was bad at medium range, then I think those other options would be like definitely preferred, but this can be good too. Like, it's not like you need to run one of those other weapons with the sniper. It's just more like those other weapons feel a lot better when you have the sniper, because the main downside of them is like those longer range fights, since they are like third person bloom weapons. Could potentially check if this balloon has been looted, but it went far away from him. But those balloons have little chests on them that oftentimes can give you shockwaves. Like, it seems like the spawn rate of them giving shocks is pretty high. There's an enemy right in front of him here, and this person is definitely real. The player he killed before this was an AI, but this enemy is definitely real. And so if he can get like a good opening to this fight, that's going to make things a lot easier for him. Unfortunately, he misses his snipe and then gets sniped in return. So this is like the opposite of a good start to the fight. He gave away his location for free and then took a good amount of damage. Somebody else pulling up to this enemy though. And the AR tags he got on that guy was like kind of irrelevant because it was just for every shield. Use some shocks to try to push, but I believe those people are just gone. He could go to Sandy Strip here and eliminate the Bride NPC. If you eliminate her, she will drop a purple Forsaken Blade. I almost said Typhoon Blade. But she'll drop a purple sword, which is very good. Again, misses the snipe. And that's like kind of the downside of sniping sometimes. If you aren't going to hit the opening shot, you're better off just ARing. Look at how much damage he's got with the AR. And it's like pretty guaranteed damage in the sense that it's just like so much harder, or it's so much easier to hit shots with the AR. He finally gets that kill. Pretty like standard easy kill to get. Gets opening damage, shockwaves, pumped. GG's. And 113 damage. Like just the guaranteed damage you get out of the AR if your aim is decent is oftentimes better than the gamble of sniping. Because sniping is so all or nothing. And this current sniper, it did recently get buffed, but it still doesn't have like really devastating damage in the sense that like it'll one hit to the head. If you do get a headshot, like you'll get good damage, but a lot of times just hitting a body shot, I would rather just been ARing. Also, there is a bug sometimes where you just get no gunfire sound for some reason. I get this bug a good amount and it's pretty tilting. In the past, there was like a bug where, and it's probably still in the game, where like a specific weapon will have no audio and then you like drop it and pick it back up to fix that. But this bug is just like there's like no gunshot sound at all in your game. Even like enemy gunshot sounds, like we didn't hear this person shots. And I don't know if this player is experiencing this bug. I think it's on my end. Getting fried. Don't know where from. It's that guy he beamed earlier. It can be hard to tell where you're getting shot from with this bug. But since he's like hyper fixated on that mountaintop there, I assume that's where the shots were coming from. Yeah, there's their head. And if he hits a headshot here, he can, you know, get solid opening damage, but it's still going to be a somewhat hard fight to push because he only has one shockwave. Could drink that slurp if he doesn't want to carry it because it will just regen his health over time. While active. An extra big pot here, and there's more chests. If he can get any shockwaves out of these chests, that's huge. Like that makes his game a lot better, going from 1 shockwave to 3. He's going to probably wrap around the far side of zone like this because that person on the mountain was holding him. If he wraps around this way, he should be able to get in without like interacting with that player. And then maybe try to look to catch them holding him. Is decent for what he had to do with his lack of mobility. Also, it's very low on sniper ammo, too. He only has 2 shots. But this player being able to get a kill could make his game a lot better. Because if he kills somebody and gets more mobility off them and gets more heavy ammo off them, like he's just like in a good spot in the game again. But if he just doesn't really get anything done and just like continues to only have 1 shockwave, then he's back in that spot I talked about earlier where like it's very hard for him to react to like bad things happening or to like capitalize on getting good damage on somebody. I think there might be an enemy to his left on the mountain there. I thought I saw something, but I'm not totally sure. But wrapping around like this, he gets into zone and not get held by that one player. Oh yeah, somebody's zipping over there. Doesn't get held by that one player, but he could also look to catch that player holding him. This is that player. 186, perfect. He's going to have to shock on this. But imagine if he didn't have the shockwave right now. Like that 186 he got just kind of goes nowhere. That's what I was trying to say. And that's why mobility is so important. Gets the kill, doesn't take any damage. But he doesn't get any mobility back. He could take those bunkers and that'll help solve like the problem of like bad timing. If he gets any sort of like awkward timing, he can bunker to protect himself like that player did. But they don't help you with pushing as much. It's icy feet there, which is a form of mobility, but I, again, don't think it helps with pushing. He's getting collapsed on here. It says GG's. And that's the flip side of what I was talking about. Like, he wouldn't have had enough time to react there, probably to shockwave away. But the moment a fight goes, or like a timing goes bad for him, he's just out of the game. Because this player gets their damage, they push off of it, and then it's over. And that's why having this double mobility setup is so good. You can just immediately capitalize on any damage you get, immediately maybe reset situations. This player played fast enough to where I don't think the person we were spectating would have been able to get away had they had mobility anyways, but just goes to show how timing centric this game can be. Both of the kills this player just got were just timing. Kills the player we were spectating after they fight, and then just pulls up on that person as they're trying to loot or whatever. I'm not really sure what they're doing. Enemy to his right. Doesn't get good damage, so he's probably just going to try to back off and reset this in hopes that the enemy overchases him. They went a weird way. I was thinking that he was maybe going to go down to that house down there and then... Alright. That was weird. Anyways, I was thinking he was going to go down to that house and then try to play a right shoulder peek. But this enemy ended up shockwaving away. You can actually hold 3 slurps in a slot. I did not know that. I do like that he didn't fight with the awkward timing, though. Like, him and that other player kind of saw each other at the same time. I feel like it would have been just like a somewhat random fight with that enemy having high ground, but he just immediately used his mobility to try to like get away and reset it. He didn't just like take the awkward 50-50. And then he absolutely fried them, which I'm sure looked sus to a lot of people, and maybe it was, but the spectator in Fortnite is just kind of weird sometimes in terms of like showing recoil and player aim and stuff. It's really hard to say off like one instance like that. And also, one of the things that makes players really sus to me if I do make these spectating videos and think it's a cheater is if they're bad at the game, but their aim is incredible. It seems like this player is like solid at the game, they're decisive about things, and they also just have good aim. Makes sense. Someone's like bad at every aspect of the game, but their aim is just suddenly 10 out of 10. That's like strange. This could definitely be a kill, but that player's gonna like overuse mobility. I don't even know where they went. Only 2 players remaining, though. Going to where he went is a decent spot to go because he had gotten decent damage on that guy. Not incredible. I think this is a different player, but the same skin. It's like a different style of the same skin. But going to like cut off the vending machines from that player is like a decent choice. If you're looking to chase somebody and you don't really know where they went and you had them weak, a lot of times players will try to go to the vending machines to get heals. Both these players have double mobility. And this shows why it's so important. If the player he's chasing didn't have double mobility, they would have been dead by now. And if the player we're spectating didn't have double mobility to chase this player, then this person for sure just like gets away, no problem. But because he has double mobility, he can like keep up the chase and like not let that player reset. He only has 2 shocks, but he has a full katana, so it's like not the end of the world if he does run out of shocks. And that's another reason why having double mobility is so good. Not only just like the sheer amount of movement you can get in those important situations, but I feel like you can use your items more loosely. The enemy's over here. You can use your items more loosely because if you do run out of shocks, it's not like, you know, horrible. You still have something. Gets a little bit of damage, but it's just overshield. He's going to pop the slurp going into the fight. That way he's regenerating health over the course of the fight. since he still has 2 more slurps, so he doesn't really have to force this. Like, if the fight doesn't happen, it's okay. But popping the slurp going into a fight like that can be pretty helpful. It's not as busted with the regular slurp as it is the legendary slurp, but like if you have it and it's about to be a 1v1 that decides the outcome of the game, you might as well do it. But this is just, yeah, not much this enemy can do. They're existing because they have mobility. Once they have no mobility, the game is over for them. They haven't shot back once. I think they're to his left. I think they're like running up that little like sloped hill there. Maybe not. I don't know. The shockwave. Okay, yeah. I was gonna say the shockwave that he threw last sounded like he went to the left to me. You just have the OG pump. You can get it from the DeLorean or the drift events. But as I said, that fight was never really gonna go any way that was different. Once he had hit them like 200 damage and they were just like trying to regain. It's so hard to like get space to regain when it's a 1v1 like that. Like the snowbell, I think would have been better off like trying to shockwave into a bush or something and then maybe hitting a snipe while the player we were spectating was over chasing. But they never really got to a point where they could turn the fight. They were just like desperate healing. And if you're really weak and it's a 1v1 like that, you're probably not going to get the desperate heals off. You're going to need to look to get damage at some point. And that player actually had a sniper. So that's like one of the few things that can like help with that. But even the Deadeye AR fries so much that you can like turn some bad situations or get enough damage on the enemy to allow yourself like some time to heal. But they're so hard to regain in that situation, especially if you're not going to shoot back. But that is going to be it for this video. As always, if you guys did find this to be helpful, informative, or interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more. Let me know what you think of the Winterfest update, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.